Okay, lots of questions. How do you use dusting powder? So I'm going to show you how I use it, and I'm going to show you how I use it with a number of different accessories. There's so many different options with dusting powder containers, meaning what you hold your powder in, as well as dusting powder puffs and different accessories. But all of them have a purpose, and depending upon your puff and how you utilize it is what container you'll use. So Be Enchant dusting powders. Your powders are going to come in a container such as this. I do see people use it out of the container, but I've always told people to put it in some type of bowl or dish. That's why you used to see your moms and your grandmas with them in bowls and dishes, because you want your powders to breathe. You don't want to compact them when you're putting the puff inside. So there are small containers and small puffs. I got this bowl from, I think it was Burlington. I paid like $8.99 for it. These miniature puffs help you control the powder a little bit better than the larger puffs. I love the larger puffs, but I am pretty much an expert at applying the powder, so I don't make a lot of mess with the larger puffs. But typically what you're going to do is, after you've showered, you've oiled, you've moisturized, you put your deodorant in, you're going to go into your sweat zones. So sweat zones, I'm not going to, of course, pull that down, but you'd go in under your boobs, you go in on your chest, you can go in your pulse points, you go in on your underarms, you go in on your inner thighs, you can go in on your lower back, behind your knees, anywhere that you want to stay dry, fresh, and cool, and also exude the fragrance. Then I personally use an additional puff. These are called lollipop puffs, and what they're meant to do is spread and distribute powder. So you see, even though I put the powder on, right? It's white right there. You can see the powder. The goal is to dust the powder and distribute it, which is why you call it a dusting powder. You don't want to be a powder donut. You want to be able to distribute the powder. When you do it this way, you can layer as many ways or with as many fragrances as you want. So also you have the larger puffs. This is a feathered puff. You can find this on my website in my Etsy storefront. Feathered puffs are multi-purpose. So underneath it has a thick cushion that holds the powder, and then the feathers, right? And you see the beautiful jeweled handle. These are all handmade. So you're going to go in and you can do the same thing. It's going to give you more powder. I can go in again, right? You can either use the feathers to distribute, or you can use that additional puff again and distribute. Two different textures too. This is more like a sheep fur. This is more like true feathers. Now, I've also seen people go in with powder brushes or a deep, thick makeup brush. Same thing, right? Put the powder on there. Again, remember you have your powder zone. I got a little rug down there. Same concept, but more controlled. You go in, you tap, 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 put your powder on, tap, 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 and you can blend. You can blend. I probably have about 10 different dusting powder bowls and containers. I also like ceramic bowls that kind of speak to the flavors of the powders. I have tons of little puffs to dust off the excess, different ones for different fragrances. It's so much fun, especially because you can make it your own, right? You can speak to what your personality is. I love old vintage glam, so I'm always about, I love my feathered puffs. I love my lollipop puffs. I love my designer containers. You can also find a lot of my containers in my Amazon storefront. Some are heirlooms and hand-me-downs. Some I found at thrift stores. Some I find on Amazon, and so on. Always be looking for something different to hold the powders in. And then my final step after I have applied my dusting powder is I go into those areas, and that's when I apply my perfume. Now, the powder is a fragrance in its own. You don't have to. I'm a beast mode type of girl. I like to lock it in. I don't like to have to reapply fragrance throughout the day. My fragrance layering is going to last me all day. I'm going to have to get in the shower to get it off. And I don't have to use expensive perfume to do it. I typically use my perfume oil elixirs. They're EDP level, and they are going to reach and they are going to last. I have it in Jimmy Choo, I Want You, Baccarat, all of those beautiful fragrances that we all love. Okay, and I encourage you to take a look at some of my other content as well as my dusting powder playlist, where there are hundreds of videos, if not thousands of videos, on how to use the powders, what to do, how to apply them, different accessories, where to get them, how to sanitize, and so much more. Also including the different powders, some of the notes of fragrances, and how I layer with different powders. As always, TT loves you. Bye.